Hi everyone, I hope all of you were having an amazing day. This is Jandrox Educator TV and welcome back to EP Science Virtual Class. For today's video, you are going to learn about human digestive system. Are you guys ready? Alright, let's do it. For this video, you are going to learn about the different accessories or parts of human digestive system. And I am going to explain about the important structure and functions of the human digestive system. But before that, I'm going to ask you, what is the first thing that you think when you are hungry? Have you eaten your breakfast or lunch for today? And how was that? When we are hungry, first thing that we are going to think is about food. We are quite excited what will be our lunch or dinner for today. Now, what do you think? Where does the food go after we eat? Does the food go directly to your stomach? So what is your own idea about it? Which body system responsible for food digestion? What are the reasons? Why do human and animal need food? So why do we need food? That's for what? Let us remember that one of the main reasons why man and animals need food, it is because of energy. We need to grow and survive. That food provides energy to existing cells and for metabolism. Such particular process during or right after the process of digestion. What do you mean by the word digestion? So let us remember, guys, that digestion is the process of breaking down large food molecules into smaller molecules that can be readily absorbed by the body. So, what are the most important accessories or parts of human digestive system? These are the most important accessories of the human digestive system. So these are mouth accessories. Next, your stomach, right? We have the small intestine and the large intestine. How are we going to explain the digestive system? What is the most important role or the job of the digestive system? So in particular, the digestive system converts the food we eat into their simplest form, like glucose or sugars, including amino acids that make up protein, fatty acids that make up fats, and so the broken down food will be absorbed into the bloodstream from the small intestine, and the nutrients will be carried out to each of the cells for the entire body. That could be the simplest explanation about the work of our digestive system. Take note, the human digestive system includes the alimentary canal and organs such as salivary gland, our stomach, liver, gallbladder, and our pancreas. That digestion occurs in a meter-long tube called the gut or alimentary canal. What do you think will be the exact flow of food particles in the alimentary canal? Right? So first thing we have mouth, followed by esophagus, the stomach. We also have duodenum, the small intestine, large intestine, and lastly the anus. Let's talk about the word enzymes. As we all know that this enzyme plays an important role during the process of digestion. When we talk about enzymes, these are protein substances which act as a catalyst and generally speed up the chemical reactions in our body. So that enzymes break down food substances in the gut, and that is what we call digestive enzymes. Okay, I repeat, digestive enzymes. There are three main types of digestive enzymes. These are carbohydrates, protease, and lipase. So what are those? When we talk about carbohydrates, it breaks down carbohydrates, right? When we talk about protease, it breaks down proteins. And what about lipase? So it breaks down fats and oils. This time, I'm going to explain to you what about the process of digestion. So what is the exact or correct flow in this particular process? As we have talked earlier, that there are important accessories that might involve in the process of digestion. The first process that takes place during digestion is what we call digestion in our mouth. Let us remember that mouth is a very important accessory, and that is our main entry in which food takes place. What happens during digestion in the mouth? Food is broken down into smaller pieces by our teeth, right? At the same time, food is mixed with saliva from our salivary gland, right? Saliva contains salivary amylase, and it is a kind of carbohydrates which catalyzes the breaking down of starch into maltose. It is a kind of sugar, and it produces mucus in our saliva that lubricates the food while we are chewing and breaking it down before it flows to our esophagus. For the second process of digestion, there is what we call swallowing and peristalsis. So what is the job of swallowing and peristalsis? Our tongue shapes the food into a round lump called bolus before it is swallowed. That bolus is swallowed down the esophagus. The bolus is pushed along the esophagus to the stomach by a wave-like action, and that is what we call peristalsis. Peristalsis work, it is caused by the contraction and relaxation of muscles in our esophagus. When the muscle contracts, the bolus relax. When the muscles relax, the bolus contracts. That's the way how peristalsis works. It's because of the main accessories of a bolus. When the muscle contracts or muscle relax in our esophagus. Next process after swallowing and the work of peristalsis, there is what we call digestion in our stomach. What really happens during digestion in our stomach? What do you think? So first thing, our stomach is a muscular sac with a volume of 2 to 4 liters. Alright? What do you think will be the main function of our stomach? Okay? So this portion, these are the functions. Number 1, it used to store food 2 to 6 hours. Okay. Number 2, it assists in the mechanical breakdown of food, which is the peristaltic and churning actions break apart with the food substances, okay, during swallowing process. And also, our stomach act that used to secrete gastric juices. So these are the most important functions of our stomach. Okay, so usually we call it our tummy. So this is one of the most important accessories or organ in our digestive system. As we all know that in our stomach, there is what we call a gastric juice, right? So what is the work of a gastric juices? Take note that our gastric juices contain proteases and hydrochloric acid. That protease catalyzes and breaks down food of proteins into polypeptides or peptones. So what do you think will be the function of hydrochloric acid in our stomach? Number 1, it used to stop the action of salivary amylase. Next, it used to provides an acidic medium suitable for the action of protease. Next one, it is used for changes the inactive forms of protease for their active forms. Next is what we call it kills most microorganisms in food. That is why there is what we call a bacteria inside our stomach. So what happens next? Food is gradually converted to a semi-fluid substance. That is what we call chyme. So that is what we call a mucus in our stomach that used to protect in the stomach wall from being destroyed by the acid and proteases. So that chyme is pushed into the duodenum. Alright? So that gastric juices is very important when it comes to contain the proteases and hydrochloric acid. That's why sometimes that there is what we call a stomach complication or what we call a gastric acid or gastroenteritis. Right after the work of the gastric juices that was being secreted within the stomach that helps for the food digestion, the next one is liver and the pancreas. So this could be this area. There is what we call liver, okay, within the pancreas. What do you think will be the function of the liver within the pancreas? The main function of the liver during digestion is to produce bile, right? Bile is a brownish green liquid which contains bile salts and bile pigment. Bile is stored in the gallbladder, right? And it released into the duodenum through a tube called bile duct. The pancreas produces pancreatic juice which is released into the duodenum through the pancreatic duct. That's the way how the liver and the pancreas works, right? That used to filter those important or toxic waste products, okay, during the food digestion process. Now the next process of digestion, right after the liver and the pancreas works, there is what we call digestion in our duodenum. What is the main job of our duodenum? As we could remember, that is the first part of our small intestine, right? That duodenum receives bile from our liver and also a pancreatic juice from our pancreas. What do you think is the function of the bile within the duodenum? So, bile neutralizes acidic chyme from our stomach. It emulsifies fats into oil droplets for lipase to act on. What is the job of a pancreatic juice within the duodenum? Now, here is the function of pancreatic juice within the duodenum, right? So first, it is used to neutralize acidic chyme. Next, it used to digest carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins. Under that, during the digestion of carbohydrates, pancreatic amylase breaks down starch into maltose. Protease changes proteins to polypeptides. Then lipase turns fats and oil to fatty acids and glycerol. Now, the last process of digestion, it is a digestion in the lower part of the small intestine. So, this could be from the lower part to upper part of the small intestine. What happens during digestion in the lower part of the small intestine? Once tiny glands in the small intestine produce intestinal juice which contains several types of digestive enzymes, right? Carbohydrates such as maltose, sucrose, and lactose are converted to simple sugars. We have polypeptides to amino acids and fats to fatty acids and glycerol. So as you can see, there are classes of food. that contains 1. Carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And what could be the end product for that? So in carbohydrates, the end product is what we call glucose. In proteins, there is what we call amino acids. In fats, there is what we call fatty acids and glycerol. Finally, I'm going to explain it to you about what happens during the absorption of digested food. The digested food is absorbed through the walls of the small intestine into the blood capillaries due to diffusion, right? The internal wall of the small intestine is covered with a tiny finger-like projections called what we call villi. As we all know, that villi works and performs important role during the food absorption. The wall of the small intestine, which is supplied with the blood vessels to carry away the digested food, and that food is then carried to our liver before being transported to the heart and to all parts of our body, right? So please look at the absorption and transportation of a digested food within the body. Lastly, what happens during the reabsorption of water and defecation? Take note, guys, that during reabsorption of water and defecation, there is what we call an important accessories, which is the main exit point, okay, in which feces came out, and that is what we call anus. That anus plays an important job, okay, during defecation, in which feces came out. Once water and minerals and vitamins are absorbed by large intestine, the undigested food discharged as feces through anus, and that is what we call defecation. If the undigested matter passes through the large intestine too slowly, too much water will be absorbed, alright? The feces will become very hard and dry, resulting in constipation. We should eat more dietary fiber and drink more water to avoid constipation or diarrhea. Now, here are the list of the common complications of our digestive system. So please look at this one. How are we going to maintain a healthy digestive system? So what are the ways that we are going to do in order to avoid the complication or the damage of our digestive organs? So what is yours? And what are these basic routine in order to take care of your digestive organs, especially your stomach? This is the end of our topic for today regarding digestive system or the process of digestion. So I hope you learn how to take care of your digestive organs, okay, in a healthy way. Alright guys, please don't forget to answer your quizzes and assignment in the AP website at the Google Classroom. Thank you so much for listening and watching this video. Stay home, stay safe, good luck, enjoy learning.